shows have even less time, right? And so people make decisions like that. At least good people make decisions like that. Something bad happens, they act on it, right? Batman does not try to reform the criminal justice system. He drops from a gargoyle and beats up a criminal, right? Batman doesn't wait. And if movies and TV shows are like that, you know what's even worse is most of what we watch isn't those stories. Most of what we watch are commercials. And they have like 6 seconds before you click skip ad to tell you, buy this now. Those are the stories we hear all the time, every day, over and over and over. Good guys, or you, when you want to buy something, act now. Go for it, immediately. And when we look around at the troubles of the world, at the grief of our own life, or the huge things that seem complicated, when do we want a solution for those? Like, when would you like a vaccine to come out, everybody? Yeah, now. Right? It would be really nice if they were delivering it yesterday, and we could all go get stabbed in the shoulder this afternoon. When do you want your beloved grandmother or best friend to get better? When do you want justice for people in their society? When do you want things to be fixed? Later? No, we want it now. And so this story that Jesus tells, my first reaction to it is, I got to admit, frustration. Because the story is one about patience above everything else. A farmer plants good wheat in his field, and some enemy comes along and plants weeds. And there is one of those little details, let me find the word. The word for weed here specifically in the original Greek is zizania. That is a really fun word to say. But zizania is a specific kind of weed that when it's growing, looks almost exactly like young wheat. All right, it grows among the wheat, and you can't tell the difference. I remember the summer that I worked on a farm and was weeding. It was only about like 6 feet, but one of my friends was pulling out all of the plants that were actually supposed to be there and leaving the weeds because she didn't get specific instructions. It's very possible to mess up as a farmer and pull out the good stuff. And with zizania and wheat, it's even harder. They look so much alike when they're young, but they're a big deal for the farmer because if they grow up and you just bring them all in and you grind them up together, a little bit of this zizania stuff will completely ruin your flour. Like if you try to mix wheat and the weeds together when you're making bread, you're gonna have something that makes you sick. So it's hard to tell at the beginning, but it's very obvious at the end, which is a weed and which is the good wheat. Now, anyone here actually a farmer? No? Your crop is life and death, right? For now it's your livelihood, but for them it's not starving. It really matters. And so the servants who work the farm come to the owner, come to the master and say, we've got a big problem. Let's deal with it. When do we want solutions? Now. Let's deal with it now. And the farmer, the infuriating farmer in this story says, nope. We'll wait. We'll wait. Because I don't want my good wheat to be pulled up by accident. We can deal with the weeds, we can deal with the problem, later. Let's give the good thing, the weed, time to grow. In a movie, is that farmer the hero? In a TV show, is he the good guy? In a commercial, is he selling something you want? Buy our product and we'll ship it to you in 30 years. Are you going to take it? The Lord is not a very good advertiser in this story. And he doesn't look like one of our heroes. But this is such good news about God. Because God is not Batman. God is not the hero in a sitcom. God is not trying to sell us something. God cares about the good more than he cares about the evil. God is patient. One of the big messages of the whole New Testament is the Lord is coming soon. Be ready. And apparently for God, soon can mean more than 2,000 years. Why? Because the Lord is patient. He cares more about what he loves than about what he hates. And when we look at all the problems of the world and we want a solution now, it can be really easy to say, God, why aren't you doing anything? Where are you at? You've said you want this kingdom of love and peace and justice. And okay, if you've looked at the news at all lately, are we living in a kingdom of love and peace and justice? No. But God's love is stronger than his anger. And he's patient. He's giving time for us to grow. Now, there is kind of a scary warning at the end of this story, right? If it's talking about purity, personally, it's calling for us to have more, right? I know that I want to give my loyalty, my heart and mind and soul to God. And what percentage of my life does God want? As an estimate. Does God want, what's a good A minus? Does God want 83% of my life? Does God want 92? Does God want 99.8? How much of my life does God want? He wants it all. And my life is better when I'm following God. This is a call to act like the children of God in the world. But sometimes we act as though that means we have to pull away from everything else, right? There's good people over here and bad people over there. When politicians talk about purity, nothing creeps me out more. Right? When it's, okay, let's get the good people over here and keep the bad ones out, I'm like, ooh boy, this is gonna end badly. In this story, God is calling us to live in this world and accept that things are going wrong and still live as God's people. To know that good and bad are going to be mixed. But to also trust that God is constantly working. If you want proof that any group of people in the world is evil, and you look for it, guess what? You will find it. Right? Right? It's how racism manages to flourish, right? Those people over there are evil, and you can find 100 examples of people who are, murderers and cheats and crooks. And if you want, you could ignore all the good things. God says, it's not up to us to figure out who's good, who's bad. We're called to live as God's children, to live his love in the middle of it all. Whatever's going on. God is patient. And all the other images in those shorter parables that we read today are of almost the kingdom of heaven being sneaky, right? The kingdom of heaven is like the tiniest little seed that you plant in the field and suddenly, boom, it's the biggest tree. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that you work into the dough. When you're kneading dough, can you tell if there's yeast in there or not? Right? It's just the tiniest little things. But when that bread starts to rise, man, can you tell the difference? God's kingdom, God's love is growing all around us right now. And we can trust that. And we can trust that God's going to win out in the end. Nothing evil is going to last forever in this world. It's all going to blow away and be burned up like weeds. In the middle of it all, we are not called to defeat evil through violence and fear. Batman is actually bad for Gotham City. No, we're called to be like that yeast, to be like that little seed, and grow where we are, and be the presence of God's love. One of my favorite lines is when Jesus says, in the end, the righteous will shine like the sun in God's kingdom. When we live God's love, we glow with it. Have you ever been talking to someone and you can just feel love radiating off them? When you can feel that comfort of God? Trust that through the Holy Spirit, that is what God is doing in your life now. Things are still a mess. Thanks be to God for his patience. Because he loves you more. He loves you more than anything wrong in this world. God loves you so much. God loves us so much that he's willing to wait on fixing everything. Receive that love. And go out there, and even in the middle of this mess, go out and shine. Amen.